So a Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao rematch is expected to take place now in 2026. It's officially in the works, and the rumored details are it'd be a professional bout, April 2026 at the Las Vegas Sphere and streamed on Netflix. Now, I don't think a lot of people saw this coming. There were rumors about it if Pacquiao had beaten Mario Barrios, won a title, but after that Barrios fight, it seemed like this was kind of gone out of the picture, and all of a sudden Netflix gets involved, and it seems like it's probably going to happen. Both guys obviously very old. Mayweather 48 years old, Pacquiao 46 years old, but in a weird way, I don't mind it. Pacquiao really impressed me in the Mario Barrios fight. A lot of people thought he won this fight. Personally, I scored it a draw, 6-6, but Pacquiao looked like he still had it, right? The footwork, he was changing angles on Barrios, landing these pop, 4-punch combination, 5-punch combinations on Barrios. Barrios kind of struggled the first 8 to 9 rounds, right? I had Pacquiao up 6-3 in this Barrios fight, and then you saw the age starting to show a little bit in the last couple of rounds, but Pacquiao definitely looks like he still has it. But going back to this fight, I do think it can be the biggest fight of the decade, part 2, right? The first fight, biggest fight of all time, 4.6 million buys. I want to say Mayweather earned like $300 million, Pacquiao like $200 million. They might not get as much money, but I think they can be close. We're talking maybe $150 million for Mayweather, $200 million for Mayweather, maybe $100 million for Pacquiao. And I think it can be a big spectacle for sure. Now, Pacquiao, in response to these talks, he had something to say about the Mayweather and potentially a Lomachenko fight. He said, right now, a Mayweather rematch is in negotiations. My people and his people are directly coordinating. I don't have a shoulder problem now, so it's a good fight. I'm sure the world of boxing will be excited if the rematch will push through. And there's also a negotiation with Lomachenko for an exhibition. Just an exhibition, not a real fight. But the Mayweather thing that we are negotiating is a real fight. So it seems like he's got 2 options. Mayweather pro fight, Lomachenko exhibition. I personally would prefer the Mayweather fight. Not just because Pacquiao and Lomachenko are 2 of my favorite fighters ever, but I am not the biggest fan of exhibitions, right? I think a pro fight, even if they're in their 40s, there's higher stakes, especially when you have 2 of the greatest of all time, right? My number 1 of all time is Floyd Mayweather. My number 2 of all time is Manny Pacquiao. Why not see them go at it again? And no, there's no belts on the line like the first fight. There's no pound for pound status on the line like the first fight. But I would much rather see Mayweather Pacquiao 2 versus Pacquiao versus Lomachenko. Now, one more thing. This fight, like I said, it won't be as big or as legacy defining as the first fight, but I think it can be a lot more competitive than the first time, right? Pacquiao just had a pro fight with Barrios, went toe-to-toe with him, which was a draw. Mayweather hasn't had that same experience in the pro world recently, right? He's had exhibitions with Deji and Logan Paul, and I think his last one was against the crime boss, the mafia boss's son, John Gotti, where it was like, I think he might have had 2 exhibitions against Gotti. One was like a DQ, and then he might have beat him in the second one. I don't remember. But Pacquiao's got the more recent pro fight, right? So you never know how Floyd could look. Realistically, if Floyd is still 70-80% of what he was, I do probably lean towards Mayweather winning this fight with his jab and his distance control, and Pacquiao not being as athletic as he was in his prime. So I probably would lean towards Floyd winning, but I think it can be very, very competitive, right? Pacquiao looks like he still has the combinations. He's got the movement. Realistically, he's still a top 5 to 7 welterweight in the world. And Mayweather, if he's still, like I said, 70-80%, I think he could beat Barrios. I think he could beat Rolly. I think he could beat Crocker. Both these guys are arguably just as good or better than some of the current champions of the welterweight division. So I do think this can be a good fight. Maybe it might be more entertaining than the first one, hopefully. But I'm not as much against this fight as I see a lot of people saying on Twitter, right? A lot of people are like, oh, this is the battle of the unks. We don't want to see this. Boxing as a joke. Is boxing in having the greatest big fights right now, right? Tank and Jake, no. There's some spectacle fights, but I think this fight can shock a lot of people with how high level and good it can be with both these guys being in their late 40s. So I'm a fan of this rematch. I want to see this rematch. I think it brings a lot of eyes to boxing. It's going to be on Netflix probably in the Las Vegas sphere. So I think it can be one of the biggest combat sports events of the decade, if not the biggest combat sports event. So I like this fight. Maybe a lot of you guys may or may not let me know, but I do want to see this. But you guys let me know what your thoughts your thoughts are on this fight. Will it actually happen, or will Pacquiao go and fight Loma in an exhibition? Who would you pick in a rematch? But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, but let me know some video ideas you want to see as well for boxing or MMA or combat sports in general. But I'll catch you guys in the next one.